I am a little child like you. But from now on, I decided to be a princess, just like one in the fairy tales. Then my father becomes the king. I get on very well with my father. He does everything I want, except when I hide peas between the bed sheets. Then he gets angry. But everyone who reads the tales knows that it is very important to hide peas between the bed sheets in order to find out who the real princesses are. Still, I'd better pick up those peas before my father notices them. My mother used to call me my little princess. Since she died, just my father and I lived together. All the other people, like Grandma, Auntie, etc., tell me that my mum lives in the heaven as an angel. You know, like the ones in the fairy tales. Every evening before I go to bed, my father reads me a book. Although I want him to read me a fairy tale, he doesn't like those stories anymore. He tells me that the tales are not true and that I am no longer a little child and I have to step out of the world of fairy tales into the real world. Of course, this makes me a little bit angry, but I still love him. Nowadays, I am not very pleased with my father. Very often he brings Aishan with him, whom we don't know well. The first time I saw her, I knew immediately that she is a wicked witch. One day, as she took a mirror out of her bag, I recognized which witch. She must be the wicked queen who wanted to get rid of poor Snow White. She always used to look in the mirror, as you know. At the breakfast, when I tried to tell my father all these, he got very angry. He said that we are all real people and none of us has anything to do with such creatures in fairy tales. Besides, Aishan doesn't look like a witch at all, he said. I think my father is making a big mistake. He cannot see that Aishan is a mighty, powerful witch and has already bewitched him. Now the wicked witch began to live with us, and what is more, in my father's room. Fortunately, I can rescue myself and my father from any wicked witch, because I know all the evil things they can do from the tales I read. I'd better keep an eye on Aishan in order to prove to my father that she is indeed a real witch. Maybe I can catch her flying with her broom one day. Everybody knows that witches fly on their brooms, but to tell you the truth, I have never seen her flying up till now. She always rides in her car and picks me up from the kindergarten. Thus I don't need to wait for my father until he finishes work. Aishan, the Queen of Witches, asks me again and again if I want to eat anything. But I am a princess. I don't have anything to do with wicked witches. And what is more, I never eat anything they offer me. A couple of days ago, she came to me with a bowl of fruit. Do you know, she asked, that in order to become a healthy and pretty girl, you must eat a lot of fruit. I can give you an apple, and I can even peel it for you. At that moment, I remembered how the evil queen gave poor Snow White a poisonous apple. I know what happened to Snow White after that. Aishan cannot fool me. Of course, I didn't touch any of the apples. No, I never eat, I said, and ran into my room. In the evening, when my father came home, I tried to tell him everything secretly. But even before I was finished, he said, "You know that I don't want to hear such things." Hearing this, I went to bed without eating anything. Of course guess it is very hard to fall asleep when you are hungry. But I was sure that my father would come to my room sometime. Soon the door opened slowly. Oh, finally my dad is here, I thought. But I was wrong. It was Aishan who opened the door. I pretended to be sleeping and started to watch her secretly. Aishan had brought a plate full of my favorite cookies that she placed on my table. They are certainly poisonous, I thought. Then she sat on my bed, touched my hair gently like my mother always used to do, and left the room quietly. Somehow I enjoyed her touching my hair, but still I am sure that she is a wicked witch. I was determined not to eat the cookies, but they smelled so good. Then I took a small bite from one of them. I waited some time, and still feeling no stomachache, I took another bite. Finally, eating up all the cookies, I fell asleep. In the morning, when I woke up, I touched all over my body to make sure that I was alive. Thank God, I was still living. That means the cookies were not poisonous. They tasted very good anyway. But I still don't understand why this witch didn't poison me. Who knows? Maybe some of the witches are fond of little girls. At this weekend, my friend Borja has a birthday party. The boys are not invited because they don't know much about princesses' stuff. They only like teasing the princesses. I invited only the girls, said Borja. All of us must dress up as princesses so that we can choose the most beautiful princess among us. I am not very happy about this party competition because I don't have any new princess clothes. As I wear them every day, they are all old and worn out. Yesterday, I told my father about this and he said, "You could ask Aishan and perhaps she can make a new princess outfit for you." I think you cannot demand much from a witch, but what else can I do? Maybe it won't harm much when I ask once. I ran to Aishan's room and watched her through the door. She was cutting and sewing a lot of coloured fabrics. "Can you perhaps make a new princess dress for me?" I asked her with my voice trembling. Of course, one must be very careful when talking to witches. "Sure I can," she answered shortly. I don't think that witches can sew any pretty princess clothes, but we shall see. In the morning, the dress was already finished. I cannot describe how beautiful it was. Just a princess outfit. Aishan said gently, "Put it on and let's see how it looks on you." Slowly I took the dress and put it on. I haven't really thought that it would be so beautiful. Besides, it suited me perfectly. Finally, the day of the party arrived. I put on my new beautiful princess dress. Aishan also fixed my hair and placed a princess crown made of flowers on my head. Then she put on a little bit of makeup on my eyes and I looked like a real princess. At that moment, Aishan said, "My dear, you look so pretty," and gave me a hug with a kiss just like my mother's. There was a flush of warm feelings inside me. As you can imagine, I won the first prize at the competition because Aishan had made a very beautiful princess out of me. To tell you the truth, I've had enough of those princesses and fairy tale stuff. Real life is much better and happier. Besides, There is now Aishin who loves me. I love her too, just like I love my father.